All right, I hear this a lot. I have a simple answer. Don't work or work for cash. This is stupid. The idea of impacting yourself as an individual in order to avoid paying tax is literally cutting off your nose to spite your face. Now, let's face it, you're typically going to pay about 30% tax over the course of your lifetime, which means that you have 70% left of what you earn to live your lifestyle, to do the things that you want to do, and to build wealth to create financial freedom, so you can be at a position where your wealth makes money without you having to do anything. Now, the idea here is that if we can get to a point whereby we have complete freedom and flexibility, and we pay tax on assets that we hold, it's basically free money. And the idea that individuals will compromise the quality of their own lifestyle in order to stick one to the government, to say, I have not paid any tax because you don't know that I've earned income, or I haven't produced any income in the first place, is absolutely ridiculous. Let's map this out for a moment here. Let's assume that you decide not to work, okay? You rely on government benefits. You are below the poverty line in terms of the income that you produce. And I definitely sympathise for individuals who are required to live on government benefits because of disability or other types of situations. However, doing this by choice is fundamentally ridiculous. I just can't even fathom the mindset that goes into this type of thinking. Secondly, you work for cash. We see this in lots of trade businesses, less done these days. However, it used to be prevalent that traders used to work for cashies. And I would see this time and time again, that it would be easy come, easy go. These individuals would do cashies for cheaper, so they would avoid paying GST and any other taxes that were associated with running their business. That cash would not be accounted for. They would utilize it for buying groceries, booking holidays, buying vehicles, doing all of these things. And before they knew it, the money was all gone. And the reason for this is because when we have transparency around our finances, we have far more accountability to the decisions that we make around those finances. If we find ourselves in a position whereby we treat this as kind of play money because we're doing it off the books, not only do we typically earn less margin because most people who are willing to pay for cashies expect a discount. In a good business, we should never be discounting. But secondly, because of that lack of accountability to the apportionment of those funds, that we ultimately have it slip through our fingers. And in vast majority of cases, with only a few exceptions, we end up in a worse position than if we would have done it legitimately. Now, if you want to stand any chance of building wealth in this world, you should not be minimizing your income in order to avoid paying tax. My aim as a wealth accumulator is to pay more tax every single year and to do it with a smile on my face. Because if I have a negative association with paying tax, it means that I have a negative association with making more money, okay? Now, I will always pay my fair share, but I'm also going to explore all potential opportunities to optimize my tax because I don't want to pay any bonuses to the ATO. However, if I want to build wealth for the future, I need to show more income because more income allows me to service more debt. That debt allows me to acquire more businesses and to acquire more property. Those acquisitions produce me free cash flow. That free cash flow is disconnected from my effort, meaning that I can create leverage and then I can continue to use that cash flow to then build more wealth for the future. So I can get to a point whereby I don't need to work anymore. If I choose not to, I'm always going to work. However, the aim of the game is to have that freedom to choose to do what you want and basically pay the amount of tax that's required along the way. Now, there are tax minimization strategies that you can employ to get to a point where you pay very little, in some cases, absolutely no tax. However, you need to build wealth in the first place in order to do so. And paying tax along the way is just the price of admission to building that level of wealth. Having this kind of mindset is going to keep you poor. And not only is it going to keep you poor, it is likely going to keep your future generations poor because you are afraid of paying tax, which means you're afraid of building wealth. And that means that's exactly what's going to happen. You won't build any.